Georges Génie was a genius. Well, by the way, in French, génie means genius. He was sick. He had, in his youth, tuberculosis. And when he was at the sanatorium, he invented the endiolin. He made the first endiolin in the 40s, after the war. He asked if we could get a place to work. And the director of the sanatorium, he says, well, I don't know, maybe if you want to be quiet, you can go in the morgue. So Jenny, and he added, the director added, you won't be disturbed by anybody. It was quite silent. All right, so he was on the morgue, and he invented the first endiolin in the morgue of the sanatorium in Grenoble, around Grenoble in France. And in a radio program, I heard him talking about this instrument, that the keyboard, when we push on a key, when you push softly, you could hear the sounds going up. So it was expressive. And also another expression, you could make, like on a violin, you could make the vibrato directly on the keyboard, because it was going back and right. So just like a violin who makes a vibrato. So I saw my dreams coming true, because I said, maybe now I am going to play violin on the keyboard. And that's why in 1949 he won the first prize of the best invention of the year. And he started to install himself in his business place, doing all the endiolin by himself, one by week. So it was handmade at the beginning. And I asked him to lend me an instrument, and he lent me an instrument, and I started to play it. And I had an idea to play on the left hand the accompaniment on the piano and the endiolin on the right hand. So it was a kind of, duet, only done by one man. I always wanted to play violin, but on a keyboard. It was, of course, impossible, but it became possible, thanks to Georges Génie, on the keyboard of the endiolin, to play. Well, of course, it was not the real sound of the violin, but it was almost the violin. When Génie saw the result, he said, I need a demonstrator like you. So that's why I completely changed my activities, and I was a demonstrator of endiolin in the big fairies in Europe and everywhere, in Sweden, in Italy, in Germany, everywhere. So I became a demonstrator, and also after I put on an act called Around the World in 80 Ways. First of all, the title of the act should be something science fiction-esque, because I love science fiction literature. Jules Verne was my first inspirator. If you dream it, you can do it. So I made this act because the endiolin was very versatile and could play a lot of instruments. And I remember I started by leaving France with French horns. Also, we went to Scotland and we heard the bagpipes. I built a story about making a travel in all countries with all musics. Arabian and gypsy music on the violin. I made, also, I finished my act by a gag. I was whistling, or making believe I was whistling a tune, and at the end, I took a glass of water, whistling, and then drink the water and not stopping whistling. So at this time it was funny. Now it would not be so important. But at this time, this instrument was recognized as a very important invention.